As this year ends, I want to acknowledge the wins that no one saw. The mornings you got out of bed when everything in you wanted to stay there. The moments you didn't send that angry text. The times you chose silence instead of engaging in drama. The boundaries you set even though your hands were shaking. The days you fed yourself. The nights you let yourself rest. The moments you asked for help. The times you walked away from what was hurting you. The day you didn't call them back. The moment you closed the tab instead of doom scrolling. The time you said no when you wanted to say yes just to keep the peace. No one saw those. No one celebrated those. There was no applause, no recognition, no validation. No one was there cheering you on. No one was keeping track. No one was acknowledging how hard it was. But they mattered. Every single one of them mattered. You showed up for yourself this year in ways no one knows about. You survived things that didn't make headlines. You broke patterns that no one was tracking. You grew in ways that aren't visible. You did the hard work, the invisible work, the work that doesn't get celebrated on social media. The work of healing, of changing, of becoming. And I need you to know that counts. All of it counts. Your progress doesn't have to be public to be real. Your growth doesn't have to be witnessed to be valid. Your wins don't have to be celebrated by others to matter. They don't need external validation to be significant. They don't need anyone else's approval to count. You know what you overcame this year. You know what it took. You know what you're still standing after. You know the moments you almost gave up but didn't. You know the days you barely made it through. You know the battles you fought that no one else could see. You know how many times you wanted to quit. How many times you wanted to go back to what was familiar, even if it hurt. How many times you doubted yourself. But you kept going, and that is worth honoring. So as this year comes to a close, take a moment, not to focus on what you didn't accomplish, not to beat yourself up for what you didn't do, not to compare yourself to others, not to measure yourself against impossible standards, not to focus on where you fell short, but to acknowledge what you did, the quiet victories, the invisible strength, the private breakthroughs, all the ways you kept going when no one was watching, when it would have been easier to give up, when no one would have known if you stopped trying, when there was no reward, no recognition, no proof that it mattered. You did it anyway. You chose yourself anyway. You tried anyway. You kept going anyway. You did that. And you should be so proud of yourself. Maybe you set a boundary with someone who's always crossed your lines. Maybe you started therapy. Maybe you ended a relationship that was draining you. Maybe you rested without guilt. Maybe you asked for what you needed. Maybe you stopped apologizing for taking up space. Maybe you just survived when surviving felt impossible. And that's huge. That's significant. That's worth celebrating. You matter. Not because of what you accomplished, not because of what you achieved, not because of how far you've come, but because you're here, because you kept showing up, because you didn't give up on yourself. And as we move into the new year, I hope you carry that with you. All the proof of exactly how strong you are. All the evidence of everything you're capable of. All the wins that no one saw but you. Because you saw them. You know them. You lived them. And that's what matters. Not the applause, not the recognition, not the external validation, but the internal knowing that you did it. You made it through. You kept going. You survived. And you'll carry that strength with you into the new year, into whatever comes next, because it's yours. It's always been yours, and no one can take that away from you. You did this. You're doing this, and that is everything. Wishing you many more celebrations in the months to come. And if you need a celebration partner, please come back. The light will always be left on for you.